Torchwood used to mean something to me. It was my home and my family. But now I look at it and it's like spoiled milk. It's ruined for me.
We come from closely parallel worlds, nearly identical. And for some reason, time is collapsing, with our two worlds at the center of the explosion. Elizabeth, come home to me. We're trying to communicate between timelines. It's never been done before.
I lost my daughter, and I suspect an alien took her.
This isn't an isolated case. Hundreds of children are going missing all over the world. He's heating up!
Hi, Mama.
And now, previews of attractions coming soon to a Man Theater near you.
Hello, I'm Scott, president of Scott. Have you heard of me? Today, I'd like to announce a new collab, Domino's collab, featuring Mitsune Haku. Mitsune Haku exists. Void enables you to produce songs. A character named sings the songs you create. A great feature is you can create. A great have some fun with me? Have some fun with me? I knew our talented Domino's Pizza crew could Chokyoshi. And Hatsune Miku was produced. The challenge was successfully carried out. You like pizza. Have you heard of Pizza Hut's Pizza? It's so much better than Domino's Pizza. Foodie doof. Once your pizza's delivered, have some f***ing pizza. And last but not least, the lol. Oh! Hello everyone, I'm Einstein. Sauce.
The idea of parallel universes is a sexy and exciting one, and it might even be true. In fact, there's different ways in which it could be true. There are at least 3 different notions that scientists play with in a respectable way that correspond to our sort of informal science fiction-y idea of a parallel universe. The one that is the most modern one is literal parallel universes. If you believe that there are extra dimensions of space, besides the 3 that we know about, right? Up, down, left, right, forward, backward. But there could be parallel 3-dimensional spaces next to us in that extra dimension that we just don't see. We don't know whether that's true or not, but we think about it. Again, that's what theoretical physicists do for a living. There's also the cosmological multiverse, the idea that very, very far away from us, there's regions of our universe that just look so different that we refer to them as different universes. And then finally, there are the many worlds of quantum mechanics, which is actually the most likely to be true of any of these scenarios. The idea that when you make an observation of a quantum mechanical system, like an atom or a particle, quantum mechanics doesn't tell you definitively what the answer will be. It tells you the probability of getting one outcome or the other. And the many worlds idea says that actually both of those possible answers come true. If you observe a particle here or there, there's a world in which it was there and you saw it there, and another world in which it was over here and you saw it over here. And every time a quantum mechanical interaction takes place, our whole universe splits into multiple worlds.
Today I will show you that world that you live in? You live in? Why are you driving backwards? Why?
Hello and welcome to I Don't Think That Means What You Think It Means, where we look at bits of scientific theory that have wiggled their way into popular culture and have taken on a life of their own. Today we're talking about Schrödinger's cat, a famous thought experiment devised by the Austrian physicist Erwin Schrödinger, who helped piece physics back together after Einstein and his crew blew a giant frickin' hole in it back in the early 20th century. It's hard to overstate how much of a giant crap circus the 1920s were for physicists. Until then, everything had pretty much just been good old-fashioned Newtonian physics where you could observe objects moving and predict how they react to various forces. But then along comes all this new research into subatomic particles that shows that they don't act predictably at all. In fact, sometimes stuff seems to be two different things at once, like an electron and a beam might act like a particle sometimes and like a wave at other times. And to make things even more the more you try to observe and measure these particles, the less naturally they behave. Think to say, what now? My friends, I shall now introduce you to one of the biggest mind flogs of quantum mechanics. It's called superposition. The idea that a particle can exist in all of its theoretically possible states at the same time. So Schrödinger came up with this thought experiment to help everybody understand it. Say you have a cat, and you put the cat into a steel chamber for an hour with a vial of deadly gas, a Geiger counter, a hammer, and a tiny bit of something radioactive. Bear with me here. Now say that there's a 50-50 chance that one of the radioatoms is going to decay and release some radiation within that hour. If one of the atoms decays, the Geiger counter is going to trigger the hammer, shattering the vial of poisonous gas. Really, Schrödinger? This is not the best way to get people behind the idea of funding the sciences. So there's a 50% chance that at the end of the hour, that vial has been broken and the cat is dead, and an equally good chance that the vial hasn't been broken and the cat's just kicking it wondering what's for supper. But what's actually happening in the box? According to quantum mechanics, any one of those radioactive atoms would be in a superposition of being both decayed and not decayed at the same time. Because that's how quantum objects act. So then, that decayed atom will have both killed and not killed the cat, right? Well, that's the logical conclusion, but a cat isn't a quantum object. A cat is a big, normal thing that obeys nice, old-fashioned Newtonian laws, so it, just like every other cat in history, is either alive or dead. Schrödinger's point, at least one of them, is that the two objects are subject to two separate sets of laws that can't be reconciled. In order to know whether the atom has decayed or not, and whether the cat is dead or not, you have to open the box and see. But in quantum mechanics, the state of superposition can't be observed, so when the evil mad scientist finally opens the chamber to observe, the superposition collapses and the outcome is ensured. Today, Schrödinger's cat is often talked about as some kind of undead zombie cat, or discussed as if the cat is actually both alive and dead in the box. But Schrödinger's point wasn't to prove that you can make a cat be both alive and dead, but instead to prove that the quantum world doesn't mesh together well with the, like normal world. And alternatively, the point is that the universe is pretty frickin' weird. There are other interpretations of quantum mechanics that might resolve the paradox, but none of them are particularly easy to test. My favorite, of course, is the many worlds interpretation that states that at the end of the experiment, and at the end of every superposition, new alternate universes are created. In this case, one in which the cat is alive, and one in which the cat is dead. And to be clear, I don't like this interpretation because I think it's the most likely one. I like it because I think it's such an excellent plot device for science fiction novels.
All right, Morty, can you put this on the shelf? Don't drop it. I'm not an idiot, Rick. I'm not gonna drop... Here we go. Only one of us is getting out of here, Morty. Enough talk, old man. Come here and fight me! idiot. Now I have to make more. What was it? It's acid, Morty. Pure LSD. I'm sorry, Rick. Whatever. There goes the next half hour of my life.
Rick and Morty. All new episodes begin Sunday, July 30th at 11:30. Only on Adult Swim.
Welcome to Regal.